there is one guy on the internet that everybody can fully agree on wish to be crucified and taken purely away, a pest on the internet, somebody that nobody at all likes, then it's going to be Johnny Somali. So we're going to take a look at it because apparently he's been convicted. I'm excited to take a look at it and check it out.
Hey, what's up guys, Rip here. So today we're going to do another round of topic parkour, quickly covering various topics that I don't want to slip through the cracks as we deal with the usual giant load of potential video topics that we've been covering recently. So let's begin with an update on Johnny Somali. So Johnny Somali has been dealing with a lot over the past couple of weeks in Korea, and now he is facing up to 10 years in jail. Now you can see the enthusiasm behind Johnny Somali's downfall, right? This tweet from Dexerto covering this has over 300,000 likes, nearly 22 million views in just one day. Now, of course, the most recent updates about Johnny I covered in my previous video from a few days ago. Essentially, he's been in South Korea for a couple of weeks, and he's been doing his normal nuisance streaming, but he crossed the line into basically way further than he ever thought he could have.
I am surprised. I'm kind of surprised he survived for a couple weeks. Like in Japan, all right, everybody respectful. Everybody tried to, the culture-wise, they're very like lenient on things. But man, in Korea, no. Anywhere else in the world, no. I'm surprised he acted like this way and survived for a few weeks. I thought he would be down in 3 days.
When he started going around and groping and kissing comfort women's statues, that caused a lot of Korean streamers to get very upset, track him down, basically rough him up every time he goes outside.
Wait, he got hunted by the Korean streamers?
Eventually getting so bad, Johnny Somali wants to leave the country. He is prohibited from doing so by the police because they're investigating him for multiple charges we'll talk about in just a second. And then he's basically forced into hiding.
When I told you that everyone on the internet hates this guy, I was not kidding. I was not joking. Like this guy is a pest.
But then makes the mistake of challenging these streamers to come and find him, and within 24 hours they come and find him, and one streamer in particular hits him in the face as he's leaving the place he was staying, and he's bloodied and dazed from it. And really at that point, Johnny Somali is running scared. And things get even worse when you start looking at the specific charges that he is facing right now and how serious Korea takes, in particular, drug-related offenses. Even I didn't know this. So South Korea is very strict when it comes to drug use. Possession or use of illegal drugs can result in a sentence of up to 10 years in jail.
Unless you're rich or famous, then it doesn't matter. Then you can do whatever you want. You can do whatever the hell you want in Korea as long as you're famous or rich.
And up to a fine of around 72,000 US dollars. Meanwhile, assaults, the other charges, can carry a maximum penalty of 2 years or around $3,500 fine. So of all the shenanigans he's been doing and the social backlash and even the beatings he's been taking, I would worry a lot less about that if I was Johnny Somali than those drug-related charges. That is not for redistribution of drugs. It's not selling drugs. It's just simple possession or use. And if he is caught with that, he is facing a very, very strict sentence. And since our last video covering Johnny Somali, his latest Twitter account has been suspended. I believe this is like his third or fourth account. And also his second and even I think third YouTube channels have...
I think it's impressive whenever you get banned from X, from Twitter. Like, it takes a lot to be banned from Twitter nowadays. But to be banned 3 times on Twitter? Oh my god, that is an achievement.
Been banned as well, and also with Kick, his
That's
original
wild.
platform, he's been banned from there for over a year at this point and clearly is not coming back. So he's in a desperate situation. I think he's doing everything he can to try to fix the mess he's facing in South Korea, and this is the step right here. Translated, of course, so it appears that Johnny Somali and Hank Yu, one of his friends he was causing havoc with, have apologized for the comfort women statue situation. And he shaved his face and tried to basically play up.
Bro, you look at him, man. You know he's guilty.
that he's really sorry for everything that happens. And on the related video, he tries to act like he didn't understand the significance of what he was doing. And you can see he was in the car and going around town and visiting these comfort women statues with several of the YouTubers, streamers, and alike from Korea who were not only criticizing him, but also hunting him down and trying to jump him. So this is a very interesting situation. You can see this is the YouTube video posted today where we're seeing these interactions where he's getting a much more welcoming presence here. And it seems like they're trying to reconcile something here. And whether or not they believe him, it's kind of hard to tell, especially with language barriers. But the top comment on this video is pinned
from the Supreme Leader 3534. Yeah, it's even pinned
by the uploader where it says, translate of course, "Dear Korean people, please do not accept or believe Johnny's apology. He is not sincere in his apology. He did the same thing in Japan. Johnny apologized and left for Bali. As soon as he arrived in Bali, he gossiped about the Japanese and the Japanese cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki," which I do remember the source I had for that back in the day.
I heard he went around in Korea and kept doing the same thing. He kept on shouting at random people in Korea, Hiroshima and Nagasaki, like it had any like it would be mean anything to them.
They've been DMCA'd by likely Johnny Somali, but he immediately
in Japan. No, he did that in Korea too. He went to Korea and he did the same thing.
Entering Bali, just started saying, yeah. I'm not sorry for anything that happened in Japan.
Fucking
and he started
moron.
saying the Hiroshima Nagasaki stuff again. So clearly when he apologizes, he's lying through his teeth. And people are making sure that these Korean streamers trying to work things out or reconcile things with him are aware that he lies through his teeth at any given moment to try to save himself, because he is in a terrible situation. And obviously the laws in Korea seem to be much more harsh than Japan. That's the big criticism of the Japanese law enforcement.
Japan and Korea wasn't even allies. The fuck, they were worse. Japan made Korea a slave hub. They made it Japanese history is when it comes to in the early 1900, late 1800, is not something they cherish that much or talk about that much. I'm glad that Korean and Japanese relationship is kind of better, but it's still not. It's not perfect. It's there was a horrible. It is horrible. It's not as bad as the Swedes did to Norwegians, but no, it is worse than what they did to Norwegian. What I'm saying is that they didn't backstab them. They completely butchered them. They turned everything into an awful pool. Like they turned Korea into like literally a prison like area in itself, and they did the most vile thing to all the men and women there. There was no respect at all. It was awful. By the way, what I refer to by Norwegian and Sweden, like I meant that Japan and Korea's situation in the past was extremely tragic. But for like, I meant that in the sense that Sweden completely backstabbed Norway within the face of the World War II, which made Norway get occupied, and it caused a bunch of deaths in Norway in itself. So it was not the action. What I'm trying to say is that it was not an action of a country backstabbing. It's the action of the whole country being the one attacking.
Who gave him what many would consider a very light sentence for all of the crap he did while he was in Japan. But in Korea, not so much. He's facing some very serious legal penalties. And also, as we've seen, pretty much anytime he goes outside, he's facing
the world is weird, horrifying.
By many different people. So let's move on to the next topic of this video. So here's the headline from That Park Place saying, Take-Two Interactive CEO admits Borderlands movie box office.
Bro, I saw this trailer and I said, why are they all old? Like, why is every single one here old? That they can't even hide it. It doesn't make sense to me. Like, I never looked at the Borderlands trailer at all and thought to myself, that is something I want to watch. It's such an awful adaptation of the whole series in itself. And I heard the movie was all shit.
Disappointing, but reveals it sold more
repressed
catalog.
This movie?
So if you're not familiar with this movie or you didn't see it based on this franchise here, This was an absolute disaster. This was one of the biggest flops in the box office in some recent memory, and it left a lot of people very disappointed and questioning why this was even created in the first place. And as soon as it came out, the CEO was seeing the very negative reception of this and basically said, please give this film a chance, literally begging people to go out and see this film because the results of it were absolutely abysmal. So the film eventually went into the box office and grossed $15.4 million domestically and another $17.4 internationally for a total gross of about $33 million. And it was reported that the budget was $115 million. And if you know anything about how films work nowadays, you have to basically multiply that budget by several percentage points. And the real budget was around $300 million in order to break even for this film. And obviously, as you can see, it wasn't even close. But
thank God that movie existed because they are helping us reduce inflation by the day. The more bullshit these media fronts make, the more they delete money out of the economy. Thank you for helping us.
Justification here from the CEO is that
more game companies should do the same
to the franchise generally.
We need more concourse.
I don't know if it was worth well over $100 million loss, but anyways, I guess that's just the copium for now. But in 2024, this has been the year of the flop in the video game.
The worst part about it is that this year has been insane with gaming. I have never seen a year where there has been so many good games in the recent times as this year. This year had so many fucking good games.
Industry as well. We've seen some big and beloved franchises do very, very poorly. However, despite those flops, we have some successful games getting a sequel, and that is Hogwarts Legacy. So it's been announced
a while ago that do you think people will get canceled again for playing the sequel? Do you think we'll have like the J.K. Rowling cancellation thingy happen again for a second time? I think we'll have a redo. No, you don't think so? Yes. Oh, absolutely not. Yes. I think we will. I actually think we will have I think people will create again a hate mob regarding J.K. Rowling and everybody supporting this game. Now, will it be as bad as the first game, as the Hogwarts Legacy? No, I don't think so. That thing blew up in the proportion. I did not give a fuck about most things, and I wasn't even planning to play this game. But the amount of spam of this game and of the hate on TikTok, on Twitter, on YouTube, even the things coming on Twitch and YouTubers being harassed, like it was everywhere. Like it was like a wildfire.
This game was going to be getting a sequel. However, it has now been announced.
That game is actually fun. I played it. It's a really good game. It's a good game.
Was that it is in production.
Somebody gifted it to me.
And it's a high priority within the company. So this is some pretty big news. This game was a monumental success back in 2023. And of course, you must be aware of the harassment campaign surrounding this game.
Oh, yeah.
People believe playing this game made you a transphobe because it's an IP that belongs to J.K. Rowling.
And I do want to say this is the weirdest thing ever. I don't know how you guys view me, but my friends know that I never really try to cause any issues. I always include everybody. I'm always polite and respectful to everyone I can. But whenever I played this game on stream, somebody gifted me this game. And I had some trans streamers follow me. And we had a good relationship. But as soon as I played this game, they all unfollowed and moved on. And I think that for some reason, I don't understand how people view this game as being supportive of being against trans at all. When you have individuals that barely even notice the difference and never had any moment of ill intention toward you, but they're because of their session of playing the game or supporting a game makes them completely separate themselves from you is really odd. Now, I don't actually care. I looked at it and I kind of chuckled a bit because I thought it was pathetic. I do think it's pathetic whenever you have somebody. I can understand people supporting causes. Completely fine. I cannot understand people pushing causes to you. That is weird. But when you have somebody supportive, somebody nice, somebody's always been uplifting you, and suddenly there's a hidden agenda between or a thing you think negatively think about a product, and because used it or received it, you are now going to separate yourself entirely from it is weird. A lot of VTuber got harassed by it. Pikami, the biggest one, and she basically rebranded because maybe because of it or maybe because of other things, but she rebranded. And Silvervale got extremely harassed as well for this, and a lot of other people. I remember Vay, she was like, oh, I'm playing that offline, I'm done, I'm not gonna play that online, I don't want to deal with that shit.
Who they believe is a transphobe, and they, for some reason, even though there's not evidence to suggest, they believe
whenever your friends 100%
would support her in whatever agenda they believe she was having. And this led to a harassment campaign where streamers, gamers, and even VTubers were harassed and barraged with insults and ridiculous slander just because they dared to play this game, which apparently a lot of people play because this game sold over 30 million units and generated over $1 billion. So
nice.
This was a massive success.
The hate made it a success. Unironically, it would be a success regardless. But the hate actually was the biggest advertisement because you could not see it. Everybody saw this. People that didn't care about it saw it. Like, this was spread around like wildfire. It was insane.
It probably would not have had as much success if it wasn't for the people screeching about it on social media and giving it free promotion. But as you can see, Warner Bros. Is acknowledging that, and they're aware of that, and they're doing everything in their power to make this a priority in terms of its production and get it out quickly. And on top of that, the only real concern that people like me have is whether or not this is going to be a live service game. That was rumored back a few months ago that they're going to make the sequel a live service game, which would be an absolute travesty, especially knowing Warner Bros. Because they're the company who helped produce Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, which was a live service game. And that,
I hope they learn from that game that they don't do any more live service games. Like, live service games, they're great, but they're sometimes some games don't really need it. It just makes it worse. Like, the first day of this game come out, when this game came out, what is the first mod that everybody talked about day one of this game come out? Somebody gave the wizard you play a Glock, and you can, instead of casting spell, you can shoot people. I think whenever you allow modders to just do whatever the hell with your game, it just plays itself out. It's amazing. Damn right. Hell yeah. Freedom to the land.
So why would they take something that actually succeeded, like the original Hogwarts Legacy game, and then make it into a live service for the sequel? If that is true, if that's the route they go, that is mind-boggling and a terrible choice. Now let's move on to some more gaming-related news. So it appears that many games journalists are having a breakdown on social media, even more than normal ever since the election results. And Alyssa Mercante from Kotaku has been very upset, targeting Melanie Mack here, saying, "We knew more than half of the country has brain worms and black hearts, but they want to remind us. Come to New York and say that to my face, baby girl." So essentially challenging her to a real-life confrontation, which is very odd, especially given the fact that Alyssa is someone who is currently, or at least alleging that she's filing a lawsuit against the YouTuber Smash JT for defamation and bullying her and all these things. But here she is on social media actively inviting fights with people, which she's done before, and those fights and those challenges have been accepted by YouTubers like Vera Dark, who then Alyssa made basically impossible terms to
Am I the only one that think that these they should solve these battles instead of going to court and talking shit on Twitter? Set up a boxing fight for everybody to see, and you can settle in the ring. Put it down in the ring and be done with it. Just stop yapping. Nobody cares.
Work with in order for the fight to happen. But yeah, this is very bizarre for someone who's saying
she invited people to harass her. What the fuck? That's so weird. I don't know who this is. I have no idea, by the way, these people. I've never seen this tweet in my life.
All this, and Melanie Mack would
SIQ we're dealing with. Oh my god. Oh god.
Respond basically saying she got challenged by a hobbit and she would have to literally punch down because Alyssa Mercante is 5'2", but she would go on to say that she has no interest in actually fighting her. And honestly, that's the smart decision. Why would you give someone like this the time of day? It's crazy behavior. Like, oh, I don't like what you say online, I'm going to fight you in real life. It's really childish, and this is the kind of behavior that games journalists try to portray gamers as, when in reality, it's just projection with them as always.
It's weakness. If if you start threatening people, like there's a different case of like let's do a professional boxing fight compared to I'm gonna kick your ass. Once you start threatening people, it shows that you are emotionally vulnerable, and you cannot control your own actions or even what you're trying to say online. And I think that just tells you what kind of individual you're dealing with. Just fucking like, what a waste of time.
Let's move on to the next topic. So you guys probably know Taiga. We talked about him on this channel recently, and the drama he's dealt with Nuxtaku, and also the very sad reality of his YouTube channel, and also several Twitter accounts that have been either unfairly or suspiciously banned and without any sort of remedy at this point. And it appears that he is facing another round of ridiculous harassment, where someone basically made a impersonation account trying to take his name and then was going around and saying some very disgusting things and trying to portray themselves as the official new channel for Taiga, when clearly it was not. And this is frustrating because Taiga would have to raise a lot of attention on Twitter just to get this addressed. Meanwhile, fan-related channels that are just uploading clips of his streams and things like that from Twitch are getting banned left and right. But this person...
I feel so bad for Taiga. Like, actually going through a nightmare. Like, this is... I don't know, man. Like, this... I think there's a moment where things have gone too far, and it's time to put these things into matter on paper, because like this is these people are harassing him. Like he gotta, I don't know, like what they, I don't know what they can do. I really don't know what the fuck they can do, if they can like get them, like if they can figure out who it is, because I just don't know what they could do, because there's so many people trying to target, like put him down like this. Mad respect for them still fighting back after all of this. I props to all the content creator talking about it still and trying to support Taiga, because this is the weirdest situation. I've never seen this before. Like, to somebody innocent, there are the amount of people trying to put him down is insane. Are they still hating? I don't know. They're just insane.
Has to get an immense
defamation, identity theft. It's definitely defamation, and I don't know. But the problem I'm thinking about is not the fact of what you can charge them for. It's about figuring out who they are. And I'm wondering if there's any way they can like talk to the authorities and figure it out, because it's going too far. It's gone too long.
Level of attention from social media for anything to happen to their account where they're maliciously trying to defame Taiga. Now, of course, what's even more frustrating is the fact that they are banned on YouTube. It makes it really hard to report these things for impersonation or anything like that, because their main channel doesn't exist. So this person is getting away with it, or at least they were. And of course, we had some good results for once. It appears from my angle here that this channel has been taken down, which was the right move. But the fact that it took so much mobilization for this to happen is really annoying, and just another example of the YouTube system being broken in many different ways. But here's one more story I want to cover for today. So there's been a lot of drama.
We talked about this
on Twitch. So basically, there is this whole push about what constitutes extreme content or extreme comments that could get you in trouble. This is in the wake of the Asmongold ban. And in wake of that, people have been saying, well, what about these other people who are saying really extreme stuff or doing extreme stuff, like Hassan Piker, for example? That's the main example people use.
Actually embarrassing. We're going to talk about that in a bit. I need to get those things up. I don't know if Abe is here, but Abe, if you have like those tweets about that guy Zach mentioned that was having a bounty on Destiny, I want to talk about it, because like I think it's crazy that Twitch has not yet banned Hassan, or like at all. Like I think all of these things should just be perma-banned. Like the whole gang of all of everything going on has been nuts. And I think like in the end of the day, I think that I think everybody should go through the system. Like you do one thing, you get suspended once. I don't know how many like faulties most of these people have, but like in the end of the day, like it's just incredible to see how much Twitch is defending certain streamers because of their clout or their own political view on the inside, because it's insane what they've been saying.
For all of his crazy comments, platforming terrorists, showing terrorist propaganda on stream, things like that. And there's been
no, he got nothing. He's been streaming fine. He's streamed every day, every single day. Drag Talks every single day
from Twitch. However, they decided in their infinite wisdom to add a content classification label and adding a new content category focused on politics and debated issues. And this comes after a lot.
That means you cannot talk about politics and talk about being gay anymore. No more of that.
Of people, including some US officials and advertisers, allegedly trying to go after Twitch and ask them, why are you allowing content like that to exist on your platform?
Yeah, that's the question. Why are you allowing it to be there to begin with? Like, I get you want to do the easy cut pull out to remove ads from these people so you can tell advertisers, oh, it's not going to be played there. But like, why do you want this on your platform? Like, I think that's the biggest question most people have. Like, why are you keeping this kind of hateful stuff in the platform? Like, politics is fine. Like, if you have a civil conversation, if it's possible to have a civil conversation about politics, but like, just generally, it's fine to have mentions and talks about it, but like, what is being displayed there is actual terrorism, and it's so much hate, and it's just vile. It's just wild that they also keep it on the platform.
Referring to some of the extreme comments made by people like Hassan Piker. And if you look at this category, it's even more ridiculous because you don't even have to label your streams that. It says verbatim. We want to make it clear that you don't need to label your stream if you're talking about your lived experience.
And what they mean is that they talk about your own experience. So they put this out because they didn't emphasize enough. Like, the reason why I made the gay joke is because the final part, basically, if you go to their document, it made it seem like you were not allowed to talk about gender or like what gender you are, or being being gay or being within LGBT. But what they're trying to say here is that they're trying to elaborate that you're allowed to talk about these things if it's your life, it's your experience. This doesn't matter if it's a normal conversation about you or what has happened. It doesn't matter. But if it's like gonna be a completely out discussion that doesn't really relate to your life experience, then you gotta put down the label. And people are forced to use the label. I know it. I don't know about every streamer, but I know that Asmongold had to but was even told by Twitch to add the label on, and are being asked to put the label on. It is a mandatory thing.
Whatever that means. And shocker, none of the people who are being targeted...
No, they came back and clarified what this means, or they clarified it on a post discussing it. So, yeah.
...by this rule are using it. And why would they? Because it's only going to restrict their content or the potential advertisers that might show up on their stream. So, another weird move by Twitch. But for now, that is the latest round of topic parkour. Lots of topics. So as always, feel free to share your thoughts about today's topics in the comment section down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.
I can't believe it. I cannot believe this, man. Like, the fact that he's guilty. Put him in jail. 10 years. Oh God, I cannot believe it. This guy. It's insane that he survived that long. Well, I hope he get full time, because he deserves to be put in jail for 10 years in total. What a great video. WW video by Rev. I appreciate that. That was amazing. If you like this video, make sure you click the like button, sub to the channel if you want more, and if you want to for this live, come by my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Adley. Thank you also for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace. Bye bye.